Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we're in Dublin.
Ireland.
Ireland,
in
yes.
Dublin. No, Dublin in Ireland.
But we're not. We're actually like in the spiritual world because we're in this beautiful, beautiful temple room.
Yes, beautiful.
And we have these beautiful deities here, which we're going to do some close-up shots.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
She is. And this is Parama Karuna Nitai Gora Chandra. Parama Karuna Nitai Gora Chandra. And these deities were hand-carved by one of the most wonderful devotees I think I've ever met in my life. His name is Vijay Govinda Prabhu. And he was, well, we were hoping he would be able to join in, but he's busy cooking the dinner. And then he has rounds because we kept him up late, and he works during the day. And we're doing some seminars here in Ireland at the Dublin Temple, and then we're going to the island to Innisrath to Govinda Dweep. But anyway, he's an amazing devotee. He served for many years at ISKCON London, served their lordship Sri Radhanandaneshwar, and he hand carved these beautiful deities. And we're up in kind of like the loft of his house, him and his wife Jen. And they have 2 children. Tulsi is the daughter, youngest, and Nimai is their son, the oldest. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful little temple room. And he made the altar, the Singhasan, around the deities as well. So really beautiful. So it's a wonderful place and a wonderful host, and they're really we're just having such an amazing time here. So we want to get the bites in, get the Bhagavatam bite in, get the bites in before we get the bites in downstairs. and yeah, so we're going to read from the 3rd canto, chapter 25. Do you remember the title?
Devotional service.
Yeah, the glories of devotional service, something like that. And text 43. And we have 43 and 44, and then we finish chapter 25. So we'll go ahead and start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 43. The yogis equipped with transcendental knowledge and renunciation and engaged in devotional service for the eternal benefit, take shelter of my lotus feet. And since I am the Lord, they are thus eligible to enter into the kingdom of Godhead without fear. Purport. One who actually wants to be liberated from the entanglement of this material world and go back home, back to Godhead, is actually a mystic yogi. The words explicitly used here are yuktena bhakti yogena. Those yogis or mystics who engage in devotional service are the first-class yogis. The first-class yogis are described in Bhagavad Gita are those who are constantly thinking of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. These yogis are not without knowledge and renunciation. To become a bhakti yogi means to automatically attain knowledge and renunciation. That is a consequent result of Bhakti Yoga. In the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, it is also confirmed that one who engages in a devotional service of Vasudeva Krishna has complete transcendental knowledge and renunciation, and there is no explanation for these attainments. Ahoituki, without reason they come. If a person is completely illiterate, the transcendental knowledge of the scriptures is revealed unto him simply because of his engagement in devotional service. That is also stated in the Vedic literature. To anyone who has full faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Spiritual Master, all the import of the Vedic literatures is revealed. He does not have to seek separately. The yogi who engages in devotional service is full in knowledge and renunciation. It is to be understood that one is not in full devotional service. No, sorry. Just skipped. If there is a lack of knowledge and renunciation, it is to be understood that one is not in full devotional service. The conclusion is that one cannot be sure of entrance into the spiritual realm in either the impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence of the Lord or the Vaikuntha planets within that Brahman effulgence, unless he is surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. The surrendered souls are called Akutobhaya. They are doubtless and fearless, and their entrance into the spiritual kingdom is guaranteed.
Any thoughts? Reflections?
It's interesting, like it's saying a devotee, I've forgotten now, hold on. Devotees, they're not, the knowledge and renunciation naturally come to the bhakti yogis. It's not like the other yogis that are described. You go through so much to force the mind to just, focus on everything. Or nothing, sorry. Not on everything.
On nothing.
And then, and I must force myself to not eat so much and sleep so much and all the other externals that come with basically just trying to control the mind. That's what it's all about. All the different paths, different ways to control the mind. But in Bhakti Yoga, as we even see now in terms of just travelling to Ireland, previously were in New Mayapur, whatever stuff's on your mind weighing down, and everyone's got stuff going on sometime or the other, whatever. For this duration of time that we're, you realise, I ain't thinking of it. It's only when I'm sitting there by myself or in another environment that you suddenly think, oh yeah, that problem, that issue. Because naturally you just detach from it and you're focusing on lovely interactions with devotees or just thinking, what am I going to speak about this class, or what am I going to do here or there? And it's just natural without even forcing it. Whereas other times when you're not engaged, you're forcing it, reading some positive quotes or, trying to speak to someone that will hopefully be a friend and lift you up. Sometimes we deliberately speak to people that don't lift us up because we want to wallow.
Marshmallow? No.
Marshmallows are good as well. Wallow. So it's interesting that just taking to this path at whatever level. Someone comes and cleans the pots, cleans this, or someone's pujari, whatever. It is true. It's so powerful. Bhakti yoga, it zaps you completely. It's like, as the deprogrammers would say, it is mind control, but in a good way.
Excuse me. The verse from the Bhagavatam that Prabhupada is quoting here is Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayat Yashu Vairagyam Gyanam Chayada Hoitukam. By rendering devotional service under the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. So this is very powerful, as you were saying. And I like this sentence, and I wanted to read it again. Should entrance, where was it? Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Just sitting there.
Anyway, well, I'm trying to do lots of things at one time.
Right.
Okay, anyway, I can't see it now. But he does not have to seek separately the yogi who engages in devotion is full in knowledge. If there is a lack of knowledge and renunciation, it is to be understood that, that's it. If there is a lack of knowledge and renunciation, it is to be understood that one is not in full devotional service. A lack of knowledge and renunciation. So that means if there's a place, so lack of knowledge means ignorance. So if we're functioning or acting in a place of ignorance, that means that we're not in full Krishna consciousness. And if we're finding ourselves very attached to something on the material platform that's very hard to give up, or we're finding it's tugging at us in a way that may or may not be kind of healthy, then we're not fully Krishna conscious. Now, don't be surprised, because it takes time to become fully Krishna conscious. It's a process, or as some people say, life is a process, not a destination. So it's the perfection is in the trying. Perfection is not in pretending to have achieved the goal, but it's in continuously attempting to come to the platform where we're actually really Krishna conscious. And naturally, as we go, we become more and more renounced of things that are not in our best interest. And also we become naturally, more is revealed to us, where we don't just have Gyan, but we also have Vigyan. So we actually have realized knowledge, where it's like, yes, now I actually understand what's been being said, and like that. So that wisdom then comes from within. But immediately we get these things just by, as you were saying, practicing Bhakti Yoga. So those are a few thoughts from my side.
Okay, last verse.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Therefore, persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in the intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means for attainment of the final perfection of life. Purport. Hear the words mano mayarpitam, which mean the mind being fixed on me. Mano mayarpitam, the mind being fixed on me, are significant. One should fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna or his incarnation. To be fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna or his incarnation. Sorry, it's hard because we're reading from the same book and it's a little bit distant. So I'm going to do this now, because
It's okay, I can listen.
to be fixed steadily in that freedom is the way of liberation. Ambarish Maharaj is an example. He fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. He spoke only on the pastimes of the Lord. He smelled only the flowers and tulsi offered to the Lord. He walked only to the temple of the Lord. He engaged his hands in cleansing the temple. He engaged his tongue in tasting the foodstuff offered to the Lord, and he engaged his ears for hearing the great pastimes of the Lord. And that way all his senses were engaged. First of all, the mind should be engaged at the lotus feet of the Lord, very steadily and naturally. Because the mind is the master of the senses. When the mind is engaged, all the senses become engaged. That is Bhakti Yoga. Yoga means controlling the senses. The senses cannot be controlled in the proper sense of the term. They are always agitated. Let's read that again. The senses cannot be controlled in the proper sense of the term. They are always agitated. This is true also with a child. How long can he be forced to sit down silently? It's not possible. Even Arjuna said, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. The mind is always agitated. The best course is to fix the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. Mano mayarpitam shtiram. If one seriously engages in Krishna consciousness, that is the highest perfectional stage. All Krishna conscious activities are on the highest perfectional level of human life. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 25th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Glories of Devotional Service. Wow, powerful. Any thoughts on that last verse and purport?
No, I couldn't really see it.
But you were hearing. I thought you were listening. I thought you were going to hear what it says.
Yeah, it's just we should fix our mind.
Yeah. Her mind was so fixed on the lotus feet of name of the deities.
Harama, Karuna.
Nitai, Gora, Chandra.
They're very cute. I'll put a close-up of their faces, which Vijay Govinda Prabhu, he also painted them. They're very cute. Very cute.
So we have to fix our mind. Mano mayarpitam, and then Prabhupada added stiram, which is steady at the end. So mano mayarpitam stiram. Mano mayarpitam stiram. We have to fix the mind. The thing that stood out for me, and that was where I got confused in reading, was that it says that it's difficult to control the mind in the how did Prabhupada put it, in the proper sense of the term, like we think, let me grab it and control it, because it's always agitated, like Chanchalahi Mana Krishna. The mind is more difficult to control because it's flickering, it's always going here and there. More difficult to control than the wind. But don't try to change the mind from being all over like having the tendency to be agitated or move, but direct it to be kind of focused and agitated on something. So engage it. Otherwise, as you said earlier, the yogis, they try to think of nothing. But the mind always wants to think of something. It wants to be doing something. So instead of trying to restrict it to nothing, restrict it to something. So focus its tendency to be agitated. To be agitated means to be engaged. And engage it in focusing on the lotus feet of the Lord, like that. Anyway, that's my thoughts, 2 cents worth, which relatively useless. Okay, any final thoughts?
No.
Okay. So I guess we'll close here.
Just quick. Sorry. Final sentence. All Krishna conscious activities are on the highest perfectional level of human life. That's nice. It's like saying, because sometimes, especially over the years, even now actually, all hail the book distributors, which is true, of course, they're all great, glorious, but all know, if you do deity worship, you're amazing. But all Krishna conscious activities are on the highest perfectional level of human life. That's nice, Even if you just walk through the temple at Surrey Street, it's like, okay, receptionist, you're doing the higher service. Oh, you're cleaning the stairs. Oh, you're guest greeting there. Oh, you can go through the whole building and everyone is doing something which you can imagine is going to take them back home. Someone who's on their way to work, chanting their rounds or reading a little bit on their phone on Bhagavatam or listening to a kirtan. Or someone who's even working at work and is thinking of themselves as an ambassador of Krishna. Let me be a good example here at work. Let me donate some of my Lakshmi to Krishna. All these things. So this is the perfection of human life. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.